Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day, episode number 4 for Saturday, August the 16th, 2008. Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day, the daily video blog where I review a movie 7 days a week. My name is Leland Brungard. And the movie I'm reviewing today is the newest Woody Allen movie, Vicky Cristina Barcelona. The movie is written and directed by Woody Allen, as he does most of the time. It stars Rebecca Hall, Scarlett Johansson, Javier Bardem, and Penelope Cruz. And this movie is about two women named Vicky and Cristina who go to Barcelona on vacation, and they kind of have polar opposite ideas of what love and relationships are, and they end up falling for the same man and having relationships with him. And Javier Bardem has a kind of suicidal and sometimes homicidal ex-wife who's played by Penelope Cruz, and the movie's just kind of a character study of all these different characters and how they interact and stuff like this. So first off, I want to say that I absolutely love Woody Allen. He's one of my all-time favorite directors. Annie Hall, when people ask me what my favorite movie is, I say it's Annie Hall. It's fantastic, and if you haven't seen it, if you have not seen Annie Hall for some reason, please go out and see it, because it's one of the best movies I've ever seen, and I absolutely love it. And so, coming into this movie, I mean, there's been kind of a Woody Allen renaissance lately, I think, and it really started with Match Point, because Match Point was the first really great movie he had made in a long time, and since then he's made some good movies. I think it's impossible for him to really recapture what he had back then, because he made so many fantastic movies for so many years. He did Annie Hall, and then he did Interiors, and then he did Manhattan, and then a couple of years later he did Stardust Memories, which is a really fantastic tribute to Fellini and his movie 8½. And so, I mean, he's done some amazing films, and it's hard to not judge this movie by those standards. That said, I liked this movie. It feels like Woody Allen, and I love Woody Allen. I love Woody Allen movies. If I could live inside a Woody Allen movie, I would. And this just feels like Woody Allen. Rebecca Hall, who plays Vicky in the movie, early on, she is playing a Woody Allen character without kind of doing an impression of Woody Allen. I know in his movie Everyone Says I Love You, Edward Norton really does a Woody Allen impression a lot of the movie. And I feel like Rebecca Hall in this movie is playing the Woody Allen character without copying everything he does, and I absolutely love that about that. Scarlett Johansson is okay in the film. Scarlett Johansson's one of those actresses I struggle with constantly. For the majority of the time, I think she's a waste of space actress. I think she sucks. However, she's in some really great movies that I love, specifically Lost in Translation. I feel like there's another one. I can't think what it is. I'll out of something if I can figure out what it is. Forget it. But she's one of those actresses that hasn't always wowed me. I can take her or leave her. I could care less. And in this movie, I don't think she's spectacular. I don't think she's as terrible as she is in some other movies. But she's really kind of turning into Woody Allen's newest muse. She's kind of like a Diane Keaton or a Mia Farrow to Woody now. And I wish he would move on. I hope Penelope Cruz is the new muse now, because I like her much more. Javier Bardem, who's also in the movie, plays this charming artist who Vicky and Cristina fall in love with. And Javier Bardem, you probably know him as the villain in No Country for Old Men. He's almost unrecognizable in this role because he's playing this Spanish, attractive artist, and he's playing that kind of charming character without being a douchebag. So many times in movies when there's like a charming foreigner, it's just a fucking joke, and I can't stand it. But Javier Bardem is great. I don't know if it's because he was in No Country for Old Men, but he works in this movie. He worked for me. Loved him. Penelope Cruz is great in this movie. She really won me over with Volver, which is fantastic. And in this movie, she's really crazy and she's kind of a loose cannon, and I really loved to watch her. There's a lot of the movie she's speaking Spanish in front of Scarlett Johansson, even though everyone doesn't want her to, and it's very funny. She's crazy. she's a lot of fun to watch in this movie, so she's great. I think a lot of people really probably won't like this movie. It's one of those movies where not a lot happens. It's a character study, and it's incredibly episodic. It's just kind of one event after another. There isn't really an overarching... There really isn't a whole arc to the story. It's just a story of these people on vacation who fall in love with people, and if you're really not into that, you probably won't be engaged by this movie. It felt kind of long, but it was probably one of the shortest movies I've seen in a while. But I enjoyed it. I think it's a really interesting movie. If I do have I have a personal nitpick about this movie, it's that there's a narrator throughout the entire movie, and it's just some random guy. I don't know who the narrator was, and part of me wishes that Woody Allen narrated this movie, because when I heard him talking, I was like, oh, I just wish Woody Allen was narrating this. I love the way he sounds, and I wish he was reading this. But I also kind of commend him for not doing that, because if he narrated, it's just like Woody Allen putting himself in another one of his movies, and I really think he's trying to distance himself from his earlier works where he put himself in everything. You know, when it was awkward, there was Hollywood Ending. I think he cast himself opposite of Deborah Messing, and it was just kind of weird. So I think it's good that he's not putting himself in his movies, but at the same time, the Woody purist inside of me wishes he was doing the narration. So I think if you're a Woody Allen fan, or you're interested in a movie that's just kind of about characters, I think you should see it, because I do think it's good. I don't think it's as good as Match Point, which I think is Woody Allen's best movie in such a long time, but it's good, and I definitely think it's not a failure on any hand. I think it's a win for Woody. So definitely go see this if you like Woody Allen. Tomorrow my review is probably going to be the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I went and saw that with my girlfriend a little while back, so I'll tell you guys what I thought about that. And Sunday I'm going to talk to you guys about Swing Vote, the new Kevin Costner movie, and Monday I'm going to go way back in time and do an old classic Italian film called La Strada, so tune in for that. Spoiler for one of these days is I hated one of these three movies. I felt like I had to talk about a movie that I just really fucking hated. One of those movies I really hated. I hope you guys tune in, because it's gonna be I'm gonna rant about it because it was really bad. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.